With the general election now only, 7,000 days away, you can expect that politicians of all kinds will be putting forward policies they consider to be family-friendly. Only today, Labour's proposed doubling paternity leave and increasing statutory pay. Last year, David Cameron promised to scrutinise all new policies to check if they were family-friendly. The Liberal Democrats say they're frequent champions of more family-friendly policies, citing shared parental leave and an extension of free childcare. The parties obviously think families are worth talking about, but what about voters? In September, the pollsters Ipsos Mori asked about the issues facing Britain. 21% thought help and support for children and families should be the centre of the political parties' manifestos. That was 10th on the list, below things like tax and the environment. Almost half of those polled said the government should be doing more to help families, but a third thought they were doing enough already. Dr Samantha Callan is Associate Director for Families and Mental Health at the Centre for Social Justice. Ellen Broom is Director of Programmes and External Affairs at the Family and Childcare Trust. Samantha Callan first, is it possible politicians have misjudged the public mood on the desire for family-friendly policies?
No, I think when we poll people, families are incredibly important, and especially family stability. And I think one thing that all politicians need to bear in mind is there are more than 2 keys on the family policy typewriter. So just thinking about childcare and parental leave, they're not thinking at all about the very many parents who want a bit more choice, especially in the early years, to be able to stay at home beyond paternity leave terms or anything like that. This is about, when we've polled, we found more than 80% of adults are saying more should be done to help parents who want to stay at home.
Ellen Broom, do you agree there are votes in this? Lots of votes.
Absolutely. I think it's absolutely key that families across the country tell us every day that they want the government to do more for them. In fact, in October of last year, we asked 1,000 parents to grade the government on how family-friendly they thought it was. And they gave them a C grade, which shows that the government could really do better. And their top recommendation was to deal with the high cost of childcare. And that comes really as no surprise, as childcare costs remain a major barrier to work for most parents. In fact, we pay the highest childcare costs in Europe, except for Switzerland, and many parents use more than a quarter of their income to pay for childcare.
What about workplace policies, Ellen Broom?
I think we've seen some really positive developments. I think the right for all employees to request flexible working was a great step forward, and that obviously applies to everyone. So that could be a grandparent or a parent or someone who wants to do more volunteering in their community or whatever. I think that was a really positive step forward. But I do think we need even more action, and we need some culture change so that more dads in particular feel able to request flexible working.
Samantha Callan, how do you form family-friendly policies in the workplace so that, or in fact elsewhere, so that people who don't have children don't feel penalised? Or doesn't that matter?
Well, the thing is, as I say, at present, when we talk about family-friendly policies, we don't have the full portfolio. We certainly don't talk about a full portfolio. I mean, when you say that tax matters, well, one thing we have said again and again and again is recognising marriage in the tax system allows you to recognise single earners, massive disadvantage in our current family-friendly kind of provision. We have a much higher tax burden for single earner families than anywhere else in the OECD. So I think we need to get it right for different types of families, and what we're calling for is that there's a doubling of the amount that you can transfer if you're a single earner married couple family, just to redress the balance. £2,000 per child with tax-free childcare, and as compared with £200 per family with the transferable tax allowance. And we've got to bear in mind, married couple families are far more likely to still be together when a child is sitting their GCSEs, and stability is hugely important to the families we've talked to, the families we've polled.
Thank you both, Dr Samantha Callan and Ellen Broom, on what politicians say about family-friendly policies.
Why do